Welcome, guys, to another episode of the Spring Forward podcast. And this is a very special episode as we are highlighting some phenomenal women for Women's History Month. And today I have none other than Lakrisha Davis. She is a business coach, a career coach, a LinkedIn expert. She is the creator of the Power 50, a branding strategist, speaker, and corporate trainer, and just an all around phenomenal boss chick. So please help me welcome Miss Lakrisha Davis. Hello, Lakrisha.
Hi, how are
I'm,
you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to have you here. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. I'm excited to be doing this. This is a special episode to highlight some phenomenal women in business for Women's History Month.
Yeah,
And so I am super excited to just highlight your story and talk about the things that you're doing. And
okay.
so just to kind of get us started, what we're going to be talking about is the monetization of expertise because that is your expertise. You know how to teach people to monetize.
Yes.
So talk to us about your journey and how you came to this point. What made you finally step out on your own to start your business?
Yeah, I was actually I was actually forced out. I was let go from my job in January of 2017. At the time, I was working with a business coach, working on launching a side hustle when I lost my job and struggled to find another job. I decided that perhaps full-time entrepreneurship is the calling. That was what, 8 years ago, almost 8 years ago, something like that. And here I am.
That's awesome. 8 years, and you are still going stronger than ever, I
Thank
must say.
you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I love it. And isn't that kind of how it always starts? Is like you were forced to do something to kind of figure it out, and then it just kind of takes off in a way you probably never even could have imagined, huh?
Right.
That's
Exactly.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. The plan wasn't to be a full-time entrepreneur, but here we are.
Here we are. Well, talk to us about how your early experiences really helped to shape your approach to your work.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I don't think I've been asked that before. I definitely think how I started, and I did have a business coach I was working with, helped to shape and mold the way I think about business today. That being focusing on being of service. When I was let go from my job and was a full time entrepreneur by accident now, I had to figure out how to build my business as quickly as possible. So, what did I do? I focused on being of service. At the time, I was a career coach. I've since pivoted, but at the time, I was a career coach. And as I would share content, I would reach out to the people that sent me messages letting me know about their journey, people that were commenting on my stuff. Essentially, people that needed help, I would reach out to them and give them an hour of my time. Some of them calls have translated into really good testimonials that helped me market myself because some of those conversations have allowed people to get better results in their search. And also, some of those conversations have yielded clients. So I still honor that principle of being of service. And I think that still works very well for me as a seasoned coach and entrepreneur, as a high ticket coach as well. That works very well for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I want to talk about what you said, how you give people an hour of your time, but you were using the LinkedIn platform, right?
Yes.
And so, walk us through like how you use LinkedIn to really build your business? Because that's like a big thing right now.
Yeah. So Well, the way I built my business in the beginning was a little bit different because LinkedIn has since evolved. But in terms of now, present day, I would say using LinkedIn has allowed me to generate consistent coaching clients, be a full-time entrepreneur for almost 8 years. Can't do the math right now, but whatever that math is. And also land speaking engagements and all of that. I can say that what has contributed to my success on LinkedIn goes back to being of service, and not just in the way that I explained earlier, reaching out to people and giving them my time, but also through my content, being very generous with my content and not just sharing content in the same way that other people did it, but literally sharing things that people make others pay for. So that has been really, that has served me well in building like, know, and trust and growing my following and getting quality leads. But I don't just post on social media, or LinkedIn rather, to generate clients. I think sales management is also very important. And so it's not just about, you know, getting someone to follow you or getting someone who's interested on the phone. It's about knowing how to nurture people if they don't say yes today, and continue building relationships with those individuals and that sort of thing. So it's not just about posting, it's about being able to maintain really good relationships with your leads, as well as a really good approach of introducing yourself to people that have not yet reached out to you that need you. So I would say that that would be the secret: really good content slash just being of service, right? Not even thinking about the money aspect of it.
Yeah, I really like that because a lot of times people will make you think that just posting on a social media platform is going to consistently bring leads in, and there's more to it. It's not just one dimensional in terms
Yeah.
of getting clients. So
ab-
I really like that you stress that because that's important for people to know. Like,
Yeah. Oh
oh, there's
yeah,
more to
absolutely.
it, guys.
Absolutely.
So one of the things that I was so impressed with was the Power 50 that you created.
Oh,
Oh my goodness. Talk to us about that, Lakrisha. Like what inspired you to do this?
wow.
And what was your thought process behind it? Talk to us about that.
Yeah. Well, if I can be candid for a moment, it's an idea that came up maybe about a year ago. Honestly, it was about a year ago, and right now was the right time to launch it. But it started out of frustration of me, yet again, not making the top voice list or being on the other LinkedIn fave lists. I'm since a top voice and I'm appearing on these lists now, but that's where it started. And also just noticing that it wasn't just me that felt that I was being left out. There's also a lot of other people that specifically look like me, and that there is a huge disparity between the I think the people that are of non-color who get recognized over the platform as opposed to people of color.
Yeah, that was one of my biggest questions too. As I was looking through the Power 50 that you created, it made me start thinking like, how do you become a LinkedIn top voice? Because as I was looking at different people who are LinkedIn top voices, there were some who had like 50, 60,000 followers and they didn't have that top voice, but they had great content as I was looking through their stuff. And I'm like, so what's the criteria? Like, what are y'all doing? Is it based on followers? Is it based on who the LinkedIn team just personally likes? Like,
I don't think we'll ever know. I don't think we'll ever know. At first, I used to think that it was very fair and objective, and I'm not saying that it's not. I don't know how they do it, quite honestly. But I will say that there is a particular individual who had never posted on LinkedIn before, had never posted on LinkedIn before at all. I recruited this person to get on LinkedIn. This person's first appearance on LinkedIn was one of my live panels, right? And since that live panel, he was like, oh, LinkedIn is lit. And literally posted on LinkedIn for a week. The voice list came out like maybe 2 weeks after the panel, and like maybe 2 weeks of him posting on LinkedIn, he's top voice.
like
So
how?
then I just stopped believing in it because I know that the person on LinkedIn that he had got cool with was in the LGBT community, and so was he. And so I think it was kind of like, oh, that's my guy. Like, let me put him on type of situation. So I think it's a lot of that too. I don't
How many followers did he have at the time? Was it like a lot or was it like
I don't know how
minimal?
many followers he had at the time. But I know that he had never posted on LinkedIn. Literally 2 weeks prior to that, he had literally posted on LinkedIn. I actually have a client too, but I love my clients I love when my clients get top boys. But I actually have a client too who was very new to the LinkedIn scene, and I think because she her niche was so unique, and they really liked it. It was so fresh and new. Because she serves a profession as a career coach that I don't think anybody else on LinkedIn markets to. And I'll just say that. I don't want to say what it is because then they'll be like, oh, I know who that is. But yeah, became top voice very quickly. Which I ain't mad at because I'm like, yeah, come on, clients. But or anybody for that matter. I don't care, but when I feel like I've been on LinkedIn like since 2016, since before people even were sold on being a creator on LinkedIn. And I will say, I will honestly credit myself for being that person to literally recruit Black people onto LinkedIn and amplify their voice, have them paying for premium subscriptions and all of that. And then for them to never recognize me, it rubbed me it rubbed me wrong for a long time. That's why when I got top voice, everybody was like, "Congratulations!" I just never said anything about it because I just dissociated myself with it.
Yeah, and I was just wondering too, because girl, I've been on LinkedIn since 2005, 2006.
Hmm.
So I don't have as many followers, and I wasn't always as active as I am now.
Hmm.
But that's kind of what I want you to get into right now too. Is a lot of people, their goal is to monetize their social media following, and so you are a branding strategist. Talk to us about how you help your clients to monetize.
Hmm.
Um, their social media presence on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So I help my clients monetize LinkedIn through a 7-step process. The first step in the process being to establish your brand positioning, basically. That sets the tone for literally everything. So, who is it that you're going to serve specifically, your ideal client audience? What is it? What's the specific problem that you're solving for the specific audience that you serve? So, making sure that that is very tight and clear and marketable. And then the next step in the process is establishing your branding. Now, I'm not a designer, my clients aren't designers, but I have a list of trusted resources that are very affordable that I pair my clients with to get branding and websites and design work done. because again, we're talking about the coaches and service providers that are pretty much building from scratch. I don't really like working with the people that got it all together. My babies are the people that are like, okay, I can coach, I know how to do the service, but business, I don't know anything about that. So I need to like start anew and build it from scratch the right way, even if they've been, you know, using it as a side hustle. But anyway, branding, and then the third step in the process is offering, right? That's very, very important. Your offer is your marketing as well. If your offer is not good, it doesn't work. It's not going to create repeat business. It's not going to create amazing testimonials and results for you to continue to generate clients. It's so basically that is what I work with my clients on, is putting together an actual offer, because it's one thing to say that you're a coach or you write resumes or do design or whatever. Um, but it's another thing to be good at it. And so I think a lot of people know the skill, but to package it in a way where it's tangible to the customer and provides transformative results, you have to put some thought into that. The fourth step is, of course, your LinkedIn profile, right? Some of my clients have jobs, some of them don't. And so sometimes we are primarily positioning their profile for their business and to attract clients for their business. And then in other cases, we're doing like a hybrid profile where we are talking about what they do during the day and then what they do for their business outside of work, and what that messaging look like. I know a lot of people struggle with that specifically. And then content strategy, getting your content strategy. Most people don't have good content. Um, 8 out of 10, no, 9 out of 10 entrepreneurs that I meet that are struggling to get consistent clients on LinkedIn, it's they don't have good content, and they don't really know that. They're not taking it as a sign that the lack of growth means that something is broken and they need help. So that, and then your systems and processes. You need systems and processes in your business, getting that set up. Now, again, this is all in an effort to get your business set up in the right way so that it is profitable. It's profitable and sustainable. I like to set people up so that they have the business created from scratch, and then they also know what systems and strategies they should be repeating to get the results. So with that being said, after systems and processes, it is closing high ticket sales. Most of the people that I serve are high ticket coaches or service providers, and it's not super easy to secure high ticket clients. We're charging thousands of dollars. That's a lot of money for people, especially in today's world. And so you really have to learn how to lead sales conversations in a way that will yield closes. And that is a skill, that's an art, and a lot of people aren't good with that. They think, oh, let me just hop on the phone and this person is already almost sold, or whatever, because they filled out this form and they booked the call, but it doesn't work that way. Also, what I was sharing with you earlier, and I'm wrapping up too, just so you know. Also, what I was sharing with you earlier about not just posting and praying, but actually getting out there and starting conversations, going out there, doing some outreach, managing your sales pipeline, nurturing all of that stuff. That is a big component of the program that I teach. Um, and usually at about 3 months, um, the business is set up, and then we're just pretty much working on getting clients. Um, and so it takes an art and a skill to close sales calls and to also get people from the DMs to actually like book a call. So that is essentially the process. And the 7th step, just in case you're wondering, is securing speaking engagements.
Yeah, the sales process is definitely a process, and
Mhm.
people don't realize that how much of a skill set that really is.
Yeah.
And especially when you're talking about high ticket and like ultra high ticket,
Mhm.
um, it's a certain way you have to approach it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
something I'm still honing. So so my little co-host is back, y'all, little Miss Winter. So she is
Hi.
she
I
is with
look
us today.
beautiful.
I am all the way mompreneur today. She wasn't feeling too good.
It's okay.
But I wanna talk about your clients because I love how you celebrate them
Mhm.
on LinkedIn. What
Yes.
is like one success story that just truly stands out to you that you just remember as like this
Mhm.
person like started from the bottom and now we're here? That Drake, the Drake song that
Mhm.
goes over and over in your head for that person. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. That's hard to choose. I'm thinking about a few people actually. But if I will say, okay, all right. I'm just gonna say the one that I have in mind. I'm not gonna say her name because she'll probably be super embarrassed. She's, you know, kind of shy like that. But I have this client that I started working with about a year and a half ago. And she came to me with just literally a PDF of her coaching program, no website, no clear direction, haven't posted on social media or anything yet. And we completely built the business from scratch. And my initial program is 6 months. So I am asking for a lot from clients to not only build their business from scratch, but also to get clients and learn sales all in 6 months. And so she was big pregnant, like gonna be popping very soon. And I can't remember when she started working with me in her pregnancy journey, but she was big. And we did work together for the 6 months, and we were able, before she went on leave and had her baby and all of that, we were able to wrap up our 6 months at her doing 10K months. Uh, Completely got her investment back plus some. We were literally at we were probably at like week 8, where I was like, oh my gosh, shoot, that's only like $725 left to get your full investment back. That's just that's a session. And then we exceeded that and promised that we'll work together after the baby. And we did in my 1 year program. And I'll just wrap it up to say that she's at 30K months and she's now teaching business. She's pivoted from the first business actually and decided that she loves this. And yeah, that's what she's doing now.
Oh, that's amazing. I love to hear
Like
those.
my rock star client. I actually have a few rock star I have quite a few rock star clients.
You
That
do.
I wanted to talk about.
You do. I love hearing their stories on LinkedIn when you share their successes and you're like, and then you show like how surprised even they are sometimes at their success. And I'm like, look at that. You go, girl.
You
Coach
know,
of the year.
no, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't, it's them. They doing the work. Trust me, because I'm a good coach. I will say that. I know what I'm doing, but it's not just about knowing what you're doing. You got to be the person that gets the work done and don't make excuses for yourself and be accountable and be self-aware and know when you're not doing what you're supposed to do and know when you are doing what you're supposed to do and just be accountable. And I don't know. It's I can say that there are some people that I work with that don't get as amazing results, and the curriculum is still the same. I'm still the same. As a coach, it's just that not everybody does the work.
Well, and you're gonna get as much out of it as you put into it, right? And so
Yeah,
that is on a personal level in terms of how successful they are.
right.
But for you,
That's
it's just
true. That's true.
amazing. It's just amazing how you put together this curriculum, right?
Mhm.
That does have these amazing results, these amazing successes. And like you said, the curriculum hasn't changed. It just it just
Well,
depends on the person.
doesn't change, right? Yeah, because I hate to say the curriculum because I'm working one on one with clients, so it always has to be pretty much um, custom to them. You know what I mean? So I don't want it to seem like it's just like, oh, this book that you go through, and it's um, the pretty much the way that I have framed up how to build a business successfully, and me putting in place um, the tools and having the coaching style to really see it through. So,
Yeah, and the structure is there. Everybody's going to have a bit of a different experience because
for
what
sure.
they're doing is different, but the
Yeah.
structure is there. And so,
Yeah.
I'm just blown away by what you've put together and how successful you've been with it. So I truly admire that, and I just really wanted to highlight that. And
Thank you.
so, like in this last little part, I want to talk about two things. One, reflect on your journey up to this point, and what for you has been the most rewarding. And then what advice would you give to people who kind of want to follow in your footsteps?
Okay. Can you repeat the first question again? Do it one at a time.
Let's do it one at a time because I was thinking the same thing. Like if
Okay.
I
Okay.
would ask myself that, I'd be like, girl, what?
Okay.
Okay.
So what
So
was
first things first, reflecting on your journey up until this point,
that?
what's been your most rewarding experience?
In terms of working with clients or building my business, or because there's so many different angles I can go. I guess I'm just trying to make sure I go in the right way because it's kind of a loaded question, or maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know. I don't know. I could be overthinking it. I don't know. Sorry.
um, I would say in terms of um just in terms of your journey and your personal fulfillment.
Okay. Okay. I will say I'm actually gonna probably say something that most people won't expect, but being an entrepreneur actually made me face certain traumas, and being an entrepreneur essentially put me right in the therapist chair. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm just gonna say it like that. Simply put, I in building a business and just learning more about myself and having to spend more time with myself in solitude, because it's very lonely building a business especially in the beginning, and then you're dealing with different people, all types of different personalities, whether these are people you employ or whether they're clients, and essentially you can do or say whatever, because, well, not technically, but you can, because you don't there's no like company policies that you'll get fired over. So there'll be some times where you're like, that really made me upset, or that really made me cry, or whatever, and you just have to learn how to be a big girl, big person, and learn how to deal with people whether you like them or not. Learn how to handle disappointment better. Just I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Knowing how to make the right decisions, knowing how to problem solve, all of that takes a healthy mindset. And I realized that with so much control and power in my business, that I could quickly go down. I go easy. Yeah, yeah.
Girl, you said a mouthful. Let me tell you, Lord.
Okay, I'm like, I don't know if this is going in the right direction or not. I'm just real because
Oh my
I
goodness.
don't know how to do, but yeah.
Lord, you must be speaking to me today because you have to, you know, and I don't know, I guess from just my upbringing. Is that right? My mama used to call me Pollyanna because she's like, oh, you're so like optimistic and I always want to feed the stray animals and give the money to the homeless people. And so when people are mean, I'm like a little girl. I cry. And so, you have to, like you said, you got to put your big girl clothes on and you really gotta like suck
Take
it up.
feedback sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And
Be
you
like,
just
all
gotta
right,
be
that's good. I'll take that. Or no, this person tripping. No,
right. You have to have that discernment to be able to know, okay, maybe there's something that I could do differently here. And then maybe it's just on the other hand, it's like, nah, this person is just
Yeah.
disgruntled and they just are negative regardless. So yes. And
It made
building
me learn how to set boundaries too. It helped me learn. Spring, I'm so sorry to cut you off, but let me just add this last piece to my answer. It helped me learn boundaries. I didn't know that I didn't have boundaries because, shoot, in corporate, could we have boundaries? I don't know. I don't remember, but maybe some. I don't know. But basically, yeah, I did not have boundaries. Quickly became overworked, stretched thin, doing everything everybody wanted me to do, and whenever and where and for what price, and all of that. And at some point, I was like, why am I just like suffering? Like, why am I so like, why do everyone taking advantage of me? And why is everyone me, me, me? And it was like, no, I'm responsible for how I feel. And I started learning boundaries. And then I learned that boundaries stem from childhood trauma. Then I learned that my childhood trauma stemmed from setting boundaries, meaning the loss of love and a punishment. So yeah, it just makes you really dive into some deep stuff being an entrepreneur.
Girl, yes. I'm telling you, when I had that conversation with my therapist, and she was like, this stems from this, and the third. She was like, so what when you were little? Because she started off was just like, so when you were little, what happened? I'm like, huh? She was like, so what happened that makes you think like this? Like when you were younger, what was the incident that happened that made you feel like this? And when I told her, she was like, there it is. And
Yeah,
I was like,
I could not set boundaries.
I was like in tears,
Yeah,
and so it's like you have a lot of unlearning to do when
unlearn
you yes when you become an
childhood trauma, but workplace trauma too.
Let's talk about that,
Right?
okay?
I mean,
That
it's not just childhood trauma too. It's workplace trauma as well. You dealing with all of this and you're carrying that into entrepreneurship and you got all this responsibility and all this control and all of this. And it's just like you could either like burn to the ground or don't. You know what I mean? Like you could be out here cussing folks out, and just
but when you do that, then everybody's gonna see you as this horrible coach
right,
and
that's what I'm saying.
so you have to find that healthy balance.
Yeah. Mhm.
You have to find that healthy balance. But setting boundaries is super important because what I started to notice was, oh, Spring, people don't have a problem telling you no, But when they need something from you, you're always quick to, yes, I can do that, jump in and inconveniencing yourself. But people will quickly say no when it's an inconvenience for them. And so I had to learn to say no when it was an inconvenience for me and not feel bad about it, because I would really feel like, oh my gosh, I'm terrible. They're going to hate me. They're never going to want to talk to me again.
And yep. Oh my gosh. Yep. So
So
that part, that's one of your attachments to negative attachments that you got to dissociate yourself from with boundaries. Is that setting boundaries mean a loss of love, loss of like?
girl, it was a whole like 3 or 4 sessions. So we done got into therapy, y'all, and we didn't even mean to, but entrepreneurship will take you there. But know that it can be a very beautiful space if you allow it to be. And it is a very liberating space, especially like Lakrisha says sometimes, where you have this workplace trauma that comes in as well. And so when you're the boss and you make the rules, remember to create the space that maybe you didn't have in your corporate business.
Yeah.
But in talking about that, right, and talking about creating that space and possibly jumping into entrepreneurship, what advice would you give to those people who are looking to do that?
My advice, quite honestly, would be to hire a coach. And I'm not saying me at all. I'm just saying that hiring a coach. I see so many people struggle to do this, and this is no easy feat. Building a business, it's not something most people can do alone. Even Oprah got mentors. Some of the biggest in the game got mentors. You know that, I mean, that's pretty much the best way I could sum it up. Some people like what I do. They admire what I do. They're inspired by my work. Well, I have a coach,
I
right?
agree. I agree. And that was one of the things too for me that I had to really take a step back and say, okay, Spring, you got to do something different now. You got to figure out what is the next step for you, because then at some point when you're doing it alone, you don't have any guidance, you hit this ceiling
Mm,
and you
mhm.
kind of don't know where to go from there. And you know that there's more that you can do, more impact that you can have, but you don't know how to get there. And that's when you have to invest. You have to invest in a coach. I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, yeah. If you don't want your business to grow, then don't hire a coach. I'm serious because I really don't see no other way, and it's just kind of a shame a little bit because um we got people out here that don't want to invest in a coach, but yet they want to ask for high ticket prices for their coaching. How's that supposed to ever happen if you're not sowing big seeds at all? Like, you're not going to reap them.
Exactly. And that was
Little
that was
seeds, so you
but also the same thing is that, big companies don't get big with just one person. It takes a team of people for them to run the business, run the corporation. So you have to be willing, if you want your business to be big business, you have to think big business, which means more, which means a team, which means investing in help,
Mhm.
whatever that help may be. So Lucretia, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
This was really, really enlightening. Like, I really enjoyed our conversation.
I enjoyed our conversation too. You were
I
great.
am I am so excited. Well,
Yeah.
talk to us about how people get in touch with you if they want to work with you.
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. So you see the spelling of my name, and you can just type that into search. I'm sure there's not any other Lucretia Davises on LinkedIn. So I should come right up. Yeah, I think that's the best way to reach me is via LinkedIn, quite honestly. Myself, and my team, we're in there all day. So you'll get a response quickly that way.
And that's one thing I love, guys, is that Lakrisha is still offering that personal touch. She's not too big to where it's like, oh, I don't deal with y'all. You deal with my people, and only certain people get access to me. And so
I will never be like that.
I love that. And I think that is where your biggest success lies, is because a lot of people, when they get to your level, I mean, you've been doing this for 8 years now. A lot of people have been doing it for what, 3, 4 years, and they feel like they're too big to be a part of the everyday thing.
Yeah.
So I
My
appreciate that.
my coach told me a part of my success is that I don't know who I am. So fully. Um
I love that. And when she says that, y'all, just in case you
he
missed it or you don't know, Lakrisha has over 150,000 followers on LinkedIn. So when her coach tells her that she doesn't know who she is, she really means it. She doesn't realize how big she is and how big of an impact she has every single day. When I tell y'all, as soon as she posts something, she has at least 20 to 25 comments within the first 20 minutes or so. And
But how am
so
I supposed to act now? You know what I mean? Like I don't know how I don't know how to act.
but this is the essence of your success, because you are still Lakrisha Davis from the South Side of Chicago, and we love it.
Oh, how you know that? How
I'm
you
telling
know that?
you, I have been a fan for a while.
What?
I
Yeah,
have been enjoying your content for the longest.
yeah, we some roundaway girls over here in Chicago.
My mom is from Chicago. She's from the West Side, and
We
so
got the tea, we got the tips,
everything.
we got it all. Yeah.
And I love it. I love it. When I'm in Chicago, I may have to come holler at you, girl, because my mama's whole side is in Chicago. She's from there.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Wow. Oh, you in Texas?
I'm in Texas.
No, twice in my life, actually. Yeah, in my
Yeah,
life.
but I'm originally from New Orleans, born and raised. I just
Okay.
came, yeah, just came back to Texas 2 years ago when me and my husband got married. But
Nice.
born and raised in New Orleans, I'm always gonna be a New Orleans girl. So.
I know that. I hear it now. I hear it.
It comes out every now and
I
then.
hear it. Man, I'm talking to Toya from the show, whatever.
Oh Lord, if another person say me that, girl, you sound like Toya. No, baby, Toya sounds like me.
It
Okay.
came out. It came. I love it.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Again, this is a very special episode with Lakrisha Davis as we highlight some phenomenal women for Women's History Month. If you want to get in contact with her, again, she is on LinkedIn, Lakrisha Davis. Look her up. That is the easiest way to get in touch with her. And so, guys, until next time on the Spring Forward podcast.
All right.